So everybody's ultimately looking to be successful in this life. And the kalima itself, la ilaha illallah, it's the kalima of ikhlas, meaning it's the kalima of Imān. So what I wanted to do with this episode is to actually break it down, decode it. Because the whole concept of, dunya decoded is to really understand what we're doing here. Because ultimately we're here to be tested. What is that test and what does it begin with? It begins with learning how to see, to understand clearly how to see. Dunya is based on mushahada. It's the world of perception. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He say? He says, إِنَّا خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِن نُطْفَةٍ أَمْشَاجٍ نَبْتَلِيهِ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. He talks about creation in Surah Al-Insan. It's the surah of the human being. And then He breaks it down Himself. He said, we created you to test you. نَبْتَلِيهِ. Okay, what's the medium of the test? What's the platform? How are we going to be tested? فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. Meaning you're tested with what you see in this life, with what you hear in this life. Because this dunya is based on mushahada, perception, the akhirah is based on what? The unseen. And Imān is always linked to ghaib, the unseen. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بالغيب, those who believe in the unseen system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The majority of people, they're caught up with what? The zahir of the dunya, the outwardly manifest of this dunya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He say? He says, يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. They're heedless. They're absolutely ghafil or heedless from what's happening in the akhirah, in the unseen system of Allah. What is Imān? Billahi, He's ghaib. Wa malaikatihi, they're ghaib. So we have to understand, as part of this, all the arkan of Imān, to understand what this ghaib represents. So we say, Imān, one of the definitions, is takdhib al-nazar wa tasdeeq al-khabar. Whenever negating what you perceive and affirming what Allah tells you in the Quran, whenever what you see doesn't align with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you.
Ya salam. Ya salam alayk ya Ousama. All right, guys, that was a huge, amazing, beautiful intro for decoding Imān. This is Diya Aliyan and this is Ousama Alshurafa. We are in Dunya Decoded podcast. We are here to decode this dunya. Each one of us, Ousama, is trying to be successful.
Absolutely.
Each one of us really wants to know, where does he stand in Imān? What's the level of Imān he's at? To know exactly where's the problem and fix it.
Absolutely.
So we are here to
decode Imān.
Decode it.
Absolutely.
We gotta decode this, Ousama. We gotta decode it, Ousama.
Let's break it down.
Let's do it.
It's like you gotta hack it pretty much.
We do, bro.
Yeah.
And we're the hackers today.
Yes.
There would be a problem if somebody got up today after this podcast and he did not know where he exactly stands.
So we want to make sure we know where we stand with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is that it? And I like the word decoded because it makes it feel like this dunya is encrypted and you need the key, like the decryption key, right? And what is that? And it's very interesting that the kalima begins with negation. Whenever, back in California or Canada, when someone would become Muslim, and you'd give him the shahada, the first thing you tell him is, say, repeat after me. And he repeats. What does he repeat? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. You pretty much bitlaqnu, you give him the kalima. And he repeats it and he becomes a Muslim. But if you really look at this kalima and how it begins, it's very interesting. Because it's like ashhadu doesn't just mean to bear witness that Allah is one. But ashhadu also means to perceive. Like when you bring witnesses in court, what do you bring?
Shuhud.
Shuhud, witnesses, they're gonna witness. And what do you say? You say, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Okay, beautiful. But what's very interesting is that the first part of the kalima has two parts. It's la ilaha illallah. But it's fascinating for me, bro, that it begins with negation. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is He telling you?
It started la ilaha.
Exactly. Ashhadu, what you perceive, it's not really happening from there. You have to understand how to see and look at this world. You can't just look at it with your sight. You need insight.
Wow.
Insight comes from the heart. And the heart is the container. I typically tell people there are three containers. The mind, where you have information. MashaAllah, the stomach, where we
have too much food.
Killed me with all the food we were eating during this trip. It's amazing though, MashaAllah. All this food, this is where it's at. That's the container of food. The heart is the container of nur.
And Noor.
Nur.
You always have something beautiful, Ousama, you say about Noor in the Quran.
Yes, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ash-Shura, He defines it for us. Because we're talking about Imān. You want to decode Imān? What is Imān? People say, I need to increase my Imān. What does it mean